mark the passing of a very special, strong-willed woman, my grandmother, Juanita Caroline Reynolds. My name is Nicole Gipson, and I am her 8th grandchild. Thank you for giving me this time and opportunity to say a few words to honor her life. I want to take this time to tell you a little about her and how she has made such a huge impact on my life today. My grandmother was a very caring, stubborn, independent woman. She enjoyed just sitting in her recliner in the quiet, no television, and just read her books and her newspaper. That is how I remember her. She was a very simple woman. In 1948, she married my grandfather. Together they had 5 kids. They lived a simple life. How I remember them together is they would take rides around the Wyandotte County Lake to look at the deer at night, or just go out and get some ice cream at the Dairy Queen. They seemed to be happy all the time around each other. After my grandfather passed in 2004, she seemed she had lost her best friend. She didn't leave the house except for on Sundays to go to church. My grandmother always said if she lost her husband, she had no interest in finding another man. She had already had the one that she wanted. My grandmother, throughout my childhood years, told me how it was so important to make sure that I was an independent woman, never to rely on a man. She lived next door to me all my life, so my grandparents were always available. I would go up and talk to her and share things with her that was going on in my life. I always knew she would give me her opinion on it, good or bad. She was a woman who definitely spoke her mind. I remember her telling me she was ready to go to heaven a few times. After my grandfather had passed away, I noticed her declining over the years. She was in pain, but was strong and hid her pain from others well. I knew my time with her was getting to be very short. Shortly after finding out she had cancer, she declined very fast. I had the pleasure of taking care of her in her last days. She had told my husband, "Make sure you take care of her for me." I will never forget those words she said on her last day. When I arrived next to Grandma's bedside that final day, I was sad and could see that her time was at her final moments. She was done fighting. I kissed her and told her I would be right back. I went down to my house, and my dad came down a few minutes later and told me she was gone. I went up to her house and held her hand and told her I loved her and I would miss her. Instead of telling her goodbye, I told her see you soon, as I always told her when I left her house. The cancer has taken my grandma away. I now know that heaven has an angel. I will always remember that she told me she lived her life and did everything she needed to do, and felt that she was ready to go and be with Grandpa in heaven. She was just done fighting. She will hurt no more. As we gather today, although we will miss her physical presence in our life, let's just not grieve. Let's share and celebrate her life as it was fully lived. Let's share her memories as her spirit continue to live in all of us. With fond memories we all have, we will all miss you. I love you, Grandma.